Oh, grab your cup, because the internet's favorite duchess has reached her boiling point again. Not warm. Not simmering. We're talking full, rolling, unstoppable heat. And what set the fire? One word: Victoria Beckham. The woman who somehow managed to do what few could, dethrone Meghan Markle without even trying. It all started with a crown that wasn't jeweled, but digital, Netflix's latest obsession. The same platform that once poured millions into the Sussex dream has a new leading lady. Her name? Victoria Beckham, and her show didn't just debut, it detonated billboards. Red carpets. Ratings through the roof. And somewhere in Montecito, Meghan Markle was watching her own project sink quietly to the bottom of the charts. That sting wasn't just professional, it was personal. Insiders whisper she's furious, convinced Netflix gave Victoria more love, more light, and a lot more money. But behind that fury hides the cruel truth: it's not favoritism. It's storytelling. Netflix simply followed the real emotion, and Victoria Beckham gave them everything. She didn't hide behind polished filters or rehearsed lines. She opened her world: the laughter, the chaos, the fragile moments no PR team could spin. The world met her family, her home, her flaws, her fight with perfection itself. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle offered a mirror that never cracked. Controlled smiles, spotless backgrounds, not one candle out of place. It wasn't a life. It was a showroom. And audiences today don't buy perfection, they crave proof that you're human. Victoria gave them that. Meghan didn't. Authenticity is the new luxury, and Victoria Beckham sold it better than the handbags with her name on them. But this isn't just about streaming numbers, it's the resurrection of a rivalry that once brewed quietly behind designer sunglasses. Because long before the headlines, the fame, and the farewell to royal life, Meghan and Victoria were, at least in theory, friends. They shared dinners, laughter, and whispered secrets across the same London tables, until one accusation shattered it all, when Meghan Markle allegedly believed Victoria Beckham had leaked private details to the press. The bond broke in an instant. No apology could fix it. The air turned cold, the smiles became scripted, and two ambitious women began circling each other like rivals in an invisible war. Years later, time didn't heal the wound, it deepened it. And now, the tables have turned spectacularly. In 2025, Victoria Beckham isn't just a designer. She's Netflix's golden girl. The poised, polished, and quietly powerful Brit who turned discipline into charisma. Her husband by her side, her empire thriving, her humor sharper than ever, Victoria has become the woman both critics and fans root for. And Meghan Markle? She's watching from the sidelines, smoothie in hand, wondering where the applause went, because when Victoria Beckham walked into that Netflix boardroom, she didn't pitch perfection. She pitched reality. A woman who built her world from the ground up. A woman who fell, rebuilt, and did it again, all while keeping her grace. The executives didn't need to be convinced, they believed. They handed her the red carpets, the press tours, the billboards stretching from London to Los Angeles. And Meghan? She got polite claps and recycled clips. Netflix sliced her earlier footage into a new season, because even they knew, there wasn't anything new left to see, and the irony burns. Victoria Beckham's story was messy, emotional, raw, and that's why people cared. Meghan Markle's felt more like a commercial, beautiful but hollow. Her lighting was flawless, her speeches carefully shaped, but her eyes told a different story. The kind of story that says, don't look too close. And in this world of constant watching, people always do. Then there's the energy between the couples. When Victoria and David Beckham appear on screen, they radiate something easy and rare, genuine comfort. They tease each other, laugh at private jokes, share looks that speak louder than words. It's love without performance. But when viewers saw Meghan Markle and her husband together, that warmth vanished. The energy was tense, unbalanced. She spoke, he paused. She directed, he nodded. It wasn't partnership, it was choreography. When Victoria corrected a seamstress, it came with a smile, a soft, let's tweak it. When Meghan gave feedback, it felt colder, sharper, like every moment needed control. That's what the audience picked up on. Not consciously, but emotionally. One couple made viewers feel safe and seen. The other made them hold their breath. Netflix didn't choose one over the other out of bias, it simply followed the light, and that's the cruelest truth of all. The cameras can't be fooled forever. They see what we try to hide. Victoria Beckham wasn't afraid to look silly, to cry, to admit mistakes. That vulnerability made her untouchable. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle remains locked in performance mode, chasing flawlessness like a shadow that always runs just ahead. She's forgotten that the audience doesn't fall in love with perfect people, they fall for imperfect truth. Even fashion insiders have noticed it. When Victoria speaks about her designs, her eyes light up. She knows every stitch, every cut, every story behind the fabric. Her passion hums through her words. When Meghan speaks about lifestyle and inspiration, it sounds more like marketing copy, beautiful, empty, rehearsed. The difference isn't in what they sell. It's in how they live. Victoria's world feels lived in, flawed but fascinating. Meghan's feels staged, like an exhibit under perfect light, and that's why the crowd has shifted. That's why one woman's name trends with admiration and the other with exhaustion. Victoria Beckham won not by being better, but by being real. She reminded people that authenticity outshines luxury every single time. And deep down, Meghan Markle knows it. That's why she's furious, not because Victoria took something from her, but because she did it naturally. So tonight, as Victoria Beckham celebrates her empire with laughter and family around her, somewhere far away, another screen glows in silence. Meghan Markle watches the same headlines that once praised her, now crown her rival instead. And in that quiet room, the question lingers, how did the woman who planned everything lose to the one who simply lived it? But if you thought the storm ended there, you're wrong. Because Meghan Markle doesn't lose quietly. Not when there are cameras, designers, and flashbulbs involved. When Victoria Beckham's Netflix triumph started dominating every fashion headline, Meghan came up with a plan, not to rebuild her image, but to reclaim her seat at the table she believed she helped set. The world was watching Paris Fashion Week. And that's where she decided her next act would unfold. The crowd gathered for Balenciaga's big night, elite designers, editors, and the kind of guests who don't wait in line. Then, out of nowhere, she appeared. Draped in dramatic black and white couture, sunglasses indoors, the perfect pose. Cameras snapped as she walked in like the guest of honor. Only later did the truth come out. She hadn't been invited. She invited herself. The revelation broke when Balenciaga's creative director chuckled during an interview, admitting she had texted him personally, asking for a seat. That awkward laugh said it all. The Duchess hadn't been called to the runway, she dialed it herself. And the fashion world lost its breath for all the wrong reasons. One stylist whispered, she didn't arrive like a star. She arrived like a storm trying to be seen. That moment went viral. Clips flooded social media, captions mocked her self-made appearance, and memes crowned her queen of crashing events. While Victoria Beckham was being ushered to her front row seat by the very hosts, Meghan Markle was accused of forcing her way in. What was supposed to be a glamorous re-entry became an uninvited spectacle. The difference between poise and panic had never looked clearer, but if Paris was embarrassing, what came next was almost poetic in its irony. Determined to prove her lifestyle brand was thriving, Meghan decided to show the world her domestic side. A photo posted online showed her smiling serenely, preserving fruit with shiny kitchen tools, an image meant to scream relatable elegance. Instead, it screamed something else entirely, wrong technique. The tongs she used were upside down, that single mistake turned into a global joke. Fans pointed it out, experts explained why it was unsafe, and the memes exploded. She's holding the brand by the wrong end, one headline teased. And just like that, her image of effortless perfection cracked again. Because behind the filters and curated lighting, there was no real familiarity, just performance. That upside-down grip became a symbol of her disconnect. The internet, it wasn't about kitchen tools anymore. It was about truth. The woman who preached authenticity didn't know how to hold her own props. It made people laugh, but more than that, it made them stop believing. Victoria Beckham's show worked because she was herself, even when she wasn't perfect. Meghan Markle's downfall grew from trying to perfect what should have just been human, and while all this chaos brewed in luxury kitchens and Paris runways, another kind of trouble was unfolding quietly behind palace walls. Meghan's husband had reportedly written to government officials in the UK, asking to restore certain privileges, reopening old wounds the monarchy was desperate to close. To some, it looked like a plea. To others, a betrayal. But either way, it put the Sussex name back under the harsh spotlight they claimed to flee. For King Charles, it was another reminder that peace in the royal family is as fragile as glass. And the public, already weary of royal drama, saw the same old pattern repeat, the couple saying they want privacy while remaining the loudest story in town. Meanwhile, Victoria Beckham, once accused by Meghan of betrayal, was being embraced by the very establishment that had once shunned outsiders. A twist straight out of a royal soap opera, one that no writer could have planned better, because let's face it, Victoria Beckham didn't fight for the spotlight. She earned it through time, humility, and a steady climb that audiences could trust. Her Netflix series wasn't a performance, it was a confession of a life lived on camera before anyone called it content. She let the world see her fear, her flaws, her laughter. She let people in. Meghan Markle, on the other hand, kept building walls of brand deals, speeches, and sound bites. She wanted the world to see her shine but never her shadow. That's the real reason the crown slipped. Victoria proved that the world doesn't chase perfection anymore. It craves sincerity. And sincerity doesn't need filters or palace titles. It needs courage. The kind that smiles even when the mascara runs. The kind that says, "I'm not perfect, but I'm real." Now the contrast is impossible to ignore. Victoria Beckham, poised yet playful, walking into rooms like she's earned every inch of them. Meghan Markle, carefully calculating each move, forever defending what used to come naturally, her charm. And somewhere deep down, she knows the difference between them isn't talent. It's trust. The audience trusts Victoria because they can see her. They don't trust Meghan because she never truly shows up. So while Victoria Beckham celebrates another award season, smiles on red carpets, and continues expanding her empire, Meghan Markle scrolls through headlines that once celebrated her and now compare her. Each story, each viral clip, another reminder of a truth she can't edit away, that she didn't lose to another woman. She lost to authenticity itself, and maybe that's the saddest part of all. Because once, Meghan Markle had the world's sympathy. She had their hearts. But somewhere between strategy meetings and brand relaunches, she turned the story into a product, and the product stopped selling. The irony? The woman she once suspected of betrayal became the very symbol of what she tried so hard to appear: strong, elegant, and real. Now, every time the credits roll on Victoria Beckham's Netflix series and her laughter fills the screen, it feels like a quiet echo, a reminder that truth always outlasts performance. The crown she wears isn't from the palace or the press. It's the one the audience gave her. And the silence that follows on the other side of the screen? That's Meghan Markle, still searching for a version of herself the world might finally believe.